Hey, good morning, everyone. It is Sunday, June 2nd in Guelph, and I am just going to do a quick video, maybe not a quick video, about grass shell pickups for the last 2 weeks. So, May 25th, which was a brutally rainy day here in Guelph, Sunday, May 26th, when some grass shells actually popped up on the Sunday, and then I think I might briefly talk about some of the pickups from yesterday, June 1st. So, a lot of stuff to kind of go through. Like I said, rain last Saturday. I still went out around 6:45, 7 a.m. And despite the rain, I was kind of unfortunately found out that people were still out looking for video games. So that Saturday in particular, there's a small community of Rockwood, Ontario, which is really only 5 to 10 minutes from my house. They have a community kind of church sale around this time. Last year, I did quite well at that, picking up a large lot of vintage Fisher Price toys, including a bin for $10. Kept the bin. I sold the rest for $100. There's a couple of vintage board games as well. So I did really well. So I knew that that was this Saturday. It's inside. So I went there first and found a couple of things. That's actually where I found probably, I'll say, the bulk of my items. So let me see if there's anything even, I'll say, remotely interesting in here. Certainly not video game related. The very first thing I saw was a bin of vintage cars in some holders. So here's one of the holders. There's another one here, a blue one, which is really trashed. These cars are probably more modern, or I'll call them knockoffs, so not Hot Wheels by any means. But anyway, I saw this, and right off the bat, there was a couple of things that caught my eye. So it's one of these, I think these were Esso or Petro Canada, kind of like a GoBot era car. And I saw that. I saw some GoBots too. So the GoBot, there's probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 GoBots in here. This is a train. Oops, train GoBot. Submarine. I think I had this as a kid, or my brother did. And I'm trying out some new lighting today, so right off the bat, I'm not sure I really like it, but it's a little bit brighter, maybe too bright. Cool Batmobile car. So this is like the original movie Batmobile car, and seeing it now. There was a, where'd it go? There it is. James Bond. This is kind of cool, actually. So this is when he went underwater in the movie and the fins came out. So it's kind of cool. Anyway, other than that, there's a GoBot Jeep in here. So there's probably 6 GoBots. There's some older Hot Wheels. I'm not much of a car collector, so I don't really know a lot about them. But some of these are Corgi and a lot of British cars. I noticed. I had a lot of these when I was a kid, from Great Britain. Some of the majorette cars and stuff too. The other thing too, though, was there's 2 of these, and if you follow me on Instagram, I posted these. Someone on eBay is selling this exact car for $530, and I have 2 of them. They're in this bin that I basically paid $1 for. So I find that extremely hard to believe. They are made in Japan by Yozawa Toys. So Yozawa Toys actually ended up getting bought by Sega later on. And this is the new Bluebird car. It's a Nissan, apparently. Anyway, I have 2 of them. So I'm going to try and sell them. If I doubt they're worth $500, I think someone has wishful thinking, but I'm going to certainly try and see what I can get for them, because I don't need them. The other thing that was also at that sale, it's kind of neat, a little more modern than I would normally buy, and I don't normally buy CD players, but this is a Sony Sports Walkman with AM/FM radio, and I like the yellow earbuds. If anything, that's probably why I wanted the most, was these, because they go with some of my cassette tape players. So it has a holder, like you could walk with it in your hand, I guess, like this. Came in a carrying case. Carrying case was actually just junk. There's a bunch of CDs in it as well. Again, nothing good. I'm just going to probably toss these out. Someone really liked Peter Gabriel and Sarah McLachlan and the movie from the soundtrack, Grease. Anyway, they were just in the case, like I said. this is kind of neat. It's like a portable set of binoculars, and they pop out. So you take them to like a hockey game. They have all these hockey team logos on them. I know this is old because it doesn't have, let me see, Ottawa Senators are not on this as an example. Any of the expansion teams aren't, but I mean, considering the Senators have been around since the 90s now, and this isn't on here, and it looks old. Anyway, this was like 25 cents. So, oh, and then one more thing. I don't know why I even grabbed this. A Mickey Mouse frame print, still sealed. It says 1967. I'm sure it's not. I think this is one of those carnival giveaways when you, like, I don't know, pop a balloon and they give it to you. Anyway, I just threw that in the pile. So I paid $7 for the cars, the Walkman, the binoculars. So that was pretty much it at that church sale in Rockwood. Not great. Like I said, I'm going to try and sell some of those cars, and if they do pay off, then great. But otherwise, not great stuff. Drove into Guelph, and it was probably only about 7:15. Went to the few yard sales that was open. I think there was maybe 5 yard sales. Asked for video games, and unbelievably told I was the second and third person asking for video games. So in the rain in Guelph, I did a post about it on Instagram that there's no way there's enough content out there for 3 people to be asking for video games on a rainy day in Guelph. But anyway, kept on looking for more stuff, and really only found, I'll say, 2 more things. So this is actually kind of nice. I mean, it's a Sony Sports Walkman, really nice shape. This was $350. This is a little more modern than the one I have, but I grabbed that, and I'll add that to my little Walkman collection. And then this was, I think, 50 cents. So it's a Ghostbusters phone case. Does not fit my phone. I just liked it. It came from a Loot Crate or something, Nerd Block set. So yeah. Anyway, that was pretty much it for the Saturday. So pretty disappointing overall. But again, raining, maybe 5-6 sales total. So what am I going to do? Sunday was really nice, and turned out there was a lot of sales that either had a rain day for Sunday, like a planned alternate day, or just popped up on Sunday. So I did go out Sunday. The first thing I found was this. My wife is a huge Wizard of Oz collector. So this is a Wizard of Oz hardcover book. This was 50 cents, and it's pretty nice shape. This is from 1934, I believe. 1939 print. So my wife actually has older copies than this. Wizard of Oz actually came out in like 1904. So very nice copy, adds it to her collection. And then I went to another yard sale that said they had collectibles. I'll use that term loosely, but I did grab a few things. I'm going to forget who these are now. Screwhead. This is from The Tick. So grab that. A couple superheroes I actually have not figured out, or not superheroes, but I haven't figured out who these are yet. So this guy with the red mask. These are 1994. They actually are Playmates. There's another one here. This guy. Don't know who that is. Biker Mice from Mars. This is, oh, I looked up his name. Can't think of it now. Anyway, he's supposed to have a tube that comes off here. Anyway, Biker Mice from Mars. Beavis and Butthead. It's actually kind of cool. Just like this. I am Cornholio. And California Raisin. And a modern Star Wars character. And this was kind of cool. I think this is new, but it's a Skeletor clip-on. So I don't know what you would do with that, but I like it though. I don't remember what I paid for that. I think they were 25 cents each or something like that. So those are kind of the best figures in their pile. I had a nice talk with them just about, they buy skids of returns from like Amazon and stuff like that, and eBay, and then, or not eBay, Amazon and Best Buy, and then flip the parts. Anyway, Then I also went to one more sale. I think there was like 5 sales total on the Sunday. And this actually worked out pretty well. So they had again, Wizard of Oz book, modern, again for my wife. Just like a children's book. So grab that for her. And then a lot of records actually. So let me see if Wizard of Oz themed record. This is not in any way associated with Wizard of Oz. It's Electric Light Orchestra, just playing other songs. I don't know why it has a Wizard of Oz picture on it, but got that for my wife. These were $2 each. So the woman had a bunch of records out by the road. She was selling plants and records. That was it. And she actually said she had a bunch in the back. So I did go in the back to look through those as well. And kind of, she had like a really nice finished shed. So I spent some time flipping through. But anyway, Muppet movie album. I loved this movie as a kid. So grab that. I don't know if this opens. So it does open. So that's kind of cool. Muppet movie. Harry Chapin. My wife loves Harry Chapin. Another Harry Chapin. This is cool. Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy. So Elton John. Really cool. Actually, that's from another sale. Sorry, I'll talk about that later. So let me do that. AC/DC, You Shook Me All Night Long single. So she's got balls and You Shook Me All Night Long. Bobby Brown, Don't Be Cruel. So this has My Prerogative on it. Aerosmith Pump. Don't have that, so that's pretty cool. Loverboy. This has Working for the Weekend on it. Loverboy. This has Hot Girls in Love. I think that was from the other sale. Let me see here. That was from the other sale too. That was from the other sale. This was $2. Cat Stevens. That was from the other sale. So yeah, 2 different record sales. I should be correct myself. So those were $2, and then these ones were actually kind of out in the country. The woman selling these, a lot of good albums. She wanted $10 each. Got her down to 5, and I think 5 is where they're at because these are actually some premium albums. But so Rush, Farewell to the Kings, great Canadian band. Another Rush. This is, what is this one? Permanent Waves. Another Rush. Hemispheres. Great albums. These are all great. So yeah, there is amazing songs on here. Where's the one I was looking at? Farewell to the King. Closer to the Heart is on here, yeah. Anyway, a lot of good songs on there. Queen, News of the World. This has We Will Rock You on it. We Are the Champions. Yeah, really good album. So Queen and David Bowie, Hunky Dory. So this has Changes on it. Life on Mars. So this was actually $10, but I don't mind paying $10 for a David Bowie album. That's for my wife. So lots of vinyl pickups on what would have been a rainy weekend. Overall, you know, not great. Didn't find any video games at all. And what are you going to do? That's just the way it is. So was looking forward to this weekend, hoping it was going to be nice, June 1st. And it started out pretty rough. Definitely hit a few sales in Guelph. Nothing at all to be found. There was a community sale in Bellwood, which is about a 30-minute drive. It said it was 40 plus sales. I started driving out there, made some phone calls on my drive just to pass the time, and got out there and immediately realized as soon as I drove up, it was a planned retirement community, which tells me that it's probably not going to be great in terms of the content. They had people, I should have brought the map. They had a full map showing you where all the houses were that had sales. They had stickers on your car to indicate that you were supposed to turn right or left when you got to an intersection to divert traffic. The roads were completely jammed, people walking down the middle of the roads. Nothing at all even remotely close to what I would look for. Total gong show. So I probably spent 20 minutes in there and then another half hour home. So brutal waste of time. Pretty disappointed because by that point, by the time I got out there, it was easily 9 o'clock, I'm going to say 8:30, 9 o'clock. And I went over to Fergus, which I knew had some sales, and that's kind of close by. So I was like, all right, well, I might as well go to Fergus. I grabbed a couple of things in Fergus, which is right here. You follow me on Instagram. I did a post about this because this was like the only thing I had found, and it was almost 9:30 by this point. So Sega Genesis, Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection on PlayStation 3. I actually have this game, but it has a lot of great Genesis titles on it, and a decent DS title, Legendary Starfy. I own this, but I can flip that copy. So that was $5 for both of those. Again, not great, but by that point I was kind of like, I don't know what I'm buying here, because I hadn't found anything. Anyway, drove back to Guelph and kept following on with my list of sales that I was trying to hit. And again, not turning up anything, getting really late in the morning. Went to one sale and I saw this of all things. Blue Jays gigantic button, 92 World Series champions. So I grabbed that, 25 cents. And then it turned out as I was leaving, matching mug. Nice mug, actually. 92 World Series Blue Jays champions with the logo on the back. If you follow me on Instagram, I've been picking up kind of vintage mugs, and I have a lot of Jays mugs now. I probably have about 5, all from 90s-ish, or earlier, actually. Anyway, 25 cents for the mug. So I grabbed that. Then I was kind of, I'll say, walking away again for the second time, and I saw what I thought were Nerf guns, and turned out not to be Nerf guns, but 2 Xbox 360 Cabela's guns. So nice one, scope on it, and a pump shotgun. And I actually looked them up on eBay. They actually go for good money, and I kind of was curious because I thought, these would actually be kind of fun to play if they work. So I asked, they're supposed to have a sensor bar with them, and I kind of was walking away doing my research, and the guy walked up and he's like, oh, I found the sensor bars for those. So here's the sensor bars. I was like, okay, well, do you have the games for them? Or what do you want for them? And he said, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I have the games. I'll go look, because without the games, I really couldn't use them. So he went and looked, and he came back out with the games to go with these guns. So Cabela's Dangerous Hunts 2013 and Cabela's Shadows of Katmai. And then another just Connect, Cabela's Big Hunting Party. Anyway, I said, what do you want for it? I think I offered him $10, and he said, how about 15? And I only had a $20 bill in my pocket, so I actually didn't want to really show that. And I said, okay, well, how about if you throw in this? I've been looking at this too. So this is a Talking Whiz Kid from 1986 by VTech, actually. I didn't know VTech was around that long. It's a little educational computer. It had a couple of cards that go in it. Has the AC adapter. So $15, threw that in. I actually do want to try these guns out. I have not tested them yet. They look fine. I can't think of why they wouldn't work, but I need to test them, and I'm actually kind of interested to play them because I think they'd be really fun to play on the system. So, excuse me, we'll try that out. And again, so continue with garage sales in Guelph. Really not finding anything, and there was one sale listed in Eris, Ontario, which is kind of outside Guelph. It's really only 5 minutes. It was near where I was at the point, so I drove out to this one sale. Said they had games and collectibles. Went out, actually had a huge spread of stuff out, and if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that I made a comment about this. So I walked up and I saw some Wii U titles. So I don't own a Wii U. I've owned a Wii U for 3 days before I returned it. So she had some games, really good titles, actually. So Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, stuff that I have on my Switch now for the most part. Mario Kart 8, NES Remix Pack, which I've always wanted, but I don't have a Wii U. So I said, what do you want for the games? She said $10 each. And I don't have a Wii U. So I said, oh, do you have the console? And she goes, oh, yeah, no, the console's right here. I didn't even see it. So it was sitting there because I wasn't looking for a boxed console. So sitting like this. So it turns out Wii U with Smash Bros built in and Splatoon, and I already have the console out here, but all the plastic is in here. I did a live stream about it yesterday. I've since played with the system, but all the plastic's in here, all the manuals, the original like twist ties, really nice shape. And in my head I'm like, oh, she's gonna want a lot of money for this. And she said that basically. So she said, I'm trying to sell it all as a bundle, but it's going to cost a lot more, like a lot more. And I said, okay, well, what's more? And in my head, I'm thinking like $200 if you have $10 a game and all this other content. So she's like, $80. And I'm like, okay. So I immediately took out the $80. And if you follow me on Instagram, I posted about this yesterday. So there's the system itself, like super clean, really nice, works totally fine. The console itself, packed inside the original kind of like foam padding, all the power cords, and plus a bunch of other stuff too. So like a knockoff GameCube controller. There's a bunch of Skylanders figures. There's a Skylander dock. There's 2 Wii remotes, 2 nunchucks, some Skylanders figures, Wii Sports. Anyway, so $80. So grab that, save of the day. Oh, and I didn't even check this. It's Wii Play inside. I don't know if I'm happy about that. Wii Play instead of Wii Sports. Anyway, so $80, grab that. Really excited actually, because I don't own a Wii U, especially this one. All the games, these are the games I would have bought if I were to buy a Wii U, minus the Skylanders probably. So $80. I've looked at Wii U's online when they go up on Marketplace, and think sometimes about pulling the trigger on some, certainly in less condition than this, with less games. Certainly not box, certainly not the deluxe edition. And on top of it off, when I set it up yesterday, spent a lot of time trying to remember my password for my Nintendo ID, because my Switch just remembers it. And also it turns out it's tied to my 3DS. But 4 years ago, I had bought a Nintendo Humble Bundle to get 3DS games, Retro Rampage and Shanti's Pirate Curse. But at that time, I actually got Wii U games included in the bundle. And so I was still entitled to those. So I was actually able to download Shanti's Pirate Curse for Wii U. And there's a space game, which actually is a decent space game. I was looking up Wii U titles that are kind of top ranked, and it's like the 14th best game or something like that. So I actually got some extra content onto this Wii U. So I'm totally planning on keeping this. I'll find a spot for it in the game room, and basically made the day, because otherwise it's been a pretty difficult garage sale season. Certainly finding stuff. The one thing I actually didn't post, it's not very exciting, but I found a drill of all things on that rainy Saturday. $5 for a drill. Sold it for $25. So it covered my expenses for that weekend, but certainly not video game related. And lesson learned, people buy nice drills apparently for good money, so I should keep looking for those. But otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna try and do probably a thrift find video after this, because I found a lot of thrift content as well, so look for that next. I am in Montreal this week for a conference and work, and in Vancouver area the week after that. So we'll see if I find anything thrifting, but that's it for now. I will talk to you later. Be sure to like and subscribe below. Thanks.